Hey guys, and welcome back to Science Not Silence. Today we're going to be doing an introduction to a new experiment I'm trying. I have never actually, I don't do biology stuff very often. I'm very based on electronics, and I've always wanted to get into the biology side of things. Now, I have specific interest in this because there's been a lot of talk about the EPA being shut down and how we need to lower regulations on blah, 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 and climate change doesn't exist. And it's like, well, I strongly disagree with everything you're saying. In fact, I would call you a liar. But beyond that, let's just talk about what we can do about it. Possibly, I think that there's interesting application of algae and more generally just plant life in terms of carbon capture and trying to move to a better environmental standard, something with lower climate change and lowering the temperature of the Earth. There's something about 500 million years ago called the Azola event. This is what triggered me to start looking at this. And it was basically a bunch of ferns that were growing on the surface of the ocean, or whatever the ocean was at the time. It's probably much narrower, like when it flooded the land. But basically, there was this plant life that absorbed so much CO2 out of the air that it actually turned the Earth from a hot house to an ice house, or greenhouse to an ice house. And that's what I'm interested in. So that got me triggered and putting this down this whole path about, okay, well, let's actually go and start learning something about how to grow plant life that would be, sustainable with minimal input. And algae popped up, and I started looking at algae. And beyond all of that, I don't ever really grow anything. I don't keep plants in my house. So I thought algae is pretty hard to kill. Let's just start by actually building by growing a little bit of algae. And so that's what we're going to do here. So I got a kit off the internet, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's take a look over at the bench, and we'll go over there and do it. So I have some algae here. Here's my kit. It came with, and this was just off Amazon, came with some directions. It came with some starter cultures. And then it also came with some nutrients, because that's another thing that you need. You need some kind of nutrient here. I think it's just nitrogen-based. I'm actually not sure what's in there, but not that important yet. And then there's also what they call algae culture salts, but basically this makes it more basic, I believe. And so between these things and here, just a regular old bottle of water, I just drank. This is filtered water, but I drank about half of it. It's 500 milliliters. And so drank half of a liter, and now I'm left with the rest. But I also, one of the other things that made me interested is I have this microscope now. I don't really have many great uses for it. I mean, yes, electronics is what I do normally, but let's take a look at the algae, and we can actually look at this up close and personal. So looking at this is the Arthrospira, or Arthrospira. Here, let's take a look at this up close here. So this is what this looks like. So it comes in a little vial. You can see as I shake it up, you got some. Come on, focus. As I shake it up here, though, you can see that there are, it is kind of basically like floating matter in there, and yeah. So we'll take a look at that up close and personal here in a second. And let's go to the microscope. So here it is. Now it is a little hard because I don't actually have it on a slide, which makes it kind of difficult, but I will try and, I was able to view it before. And look, there it is. So it's because I shook it up, that's why it's floating around in there. But you can see that it's kind of like a spiral type thing. That is, I'm not sure if these are the same things actually. I think they are actually. So this is both of these are Arthrospira. You can see this one is very similar. Ooh, that's a label. And I will eventually get slides for this thing. But you can see there's little floaters in there. And so the idea, though, is that we're going to have if we go back to here, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a solution here, which will have the nutrients, and it will have the culture salts. And then once that's ready, then I'll actually use this little bottle here to mix it all up, and then I'll wait for it to grow. Basically, you put it in the sunlight, and you just let it do its thing. So there are a bunch of different kits you can buy. I guess I don't even know which one I bought here. It was not chlorella. There it is. Okay, yeah, so that's what we saw there, right? So we saw this same thing of the little squiggly spirally things. And so you can read up on that. But what I really wanted to show is just me putting this whole thing together. It's really simple here. So basically I have to pour this into here. So pour a bag of salts into a ½ liter of water. And then add the vial. And then basically I put that in the fridge and don't drink it. And then basically I put this to here. So just 50 milliliters. So about to this line on this thing. And then I add the culture, and then I put it in the light. Like, pretty simple stuff here. And that's kind of another thing I wanted to show is that I'm really just getting started. I am an absolute beginner here. So what I'm going to do is add the culture salts here. Let's see. And there they go. And I'm actually not sure what's in these. I'll have to look up what's in both of these things, actually. And I'm just going to add the nutrients. And basically this is... Oh, it's like a gel. Oh, no, it's not a gel. Okay. So that's in there now. And now I just basically shake this thing up. Now this is my base function now. Like, basically this is... Boy, I really have to label this. That dissolved right in there. Like, you can barely tell anything's in there. I'm gonna open the fridge and be like drinking some algae nutrients. I guess if I don't drink the algae as well, I'll probably be okay. Did I miss some in there? No, there's just a little bit left in there. See if I can get this in there. Oh, it is kind of like jelly. Okay. Okay, I guess that's staying in there. All right, and now I fill from here to here. Straight up Walter Whiting it. I want to go to this line or so. A little bit higher. So like I said, I haven't done biology stuff in a long time, like a really long time. But yeah, we'll try it out. Okay, and then what does it say next? There are more advanced things here as well. Like, basically, what I'd like to start doing as well is measuring conductivity, measuring pH and light through this thing, and all that stuff. Let's see. Cap the culture and shake. Oh, fill the culture flask with culture media. Add the inoculum. I guess that's the green stuff. Okay. Here we go. Little tiny algae. And I got some on my fingers. Gross. All right, and we shake it up. There is like a little venting cap here too. I guess that's it. You can barely see. There's nothing in there, it looks like. So I guess we really got to wait for it to grow. I wonder if I can... Is it waterproof? It is waterproof. I don't think I'll be able to actually view anything in there. Yeah. So let's take one more look here at the microscope. So remember, this is what we're looking at here. So these little guys now are on my fingers and hopefully ready to make a lot more of these little these little spirally things, and we'll be ready to go with a culture, or well, a larger scale algae thing. Now, like I said, I'm very new to all this. I don't even know what I'm ultimately going to be doing with the algae, but I wanted to show that I am doing some biology stuff, and I'm very interested in trying more stuff out. I think that it's interesting from, well, I think, like I said, from the carbon capture perspective, I'd like to investigate that. There's a bunch of research out there, too, about basically skimming off some of the oils from certain types of algae, and basically you can make that into biofuel. And so that's another interesting thing. I don't think I'll have the capability for doing that, but doing science at home like this, it doesn't hurt to try, so I thought I'd try it out. So, thanks for watching. This is kind of the first video in Science Not Silence. I am, a concerned citizen scientist, and this is how I am trying to get my creative energy out. I hope you'll follow along. Thanks for watching.